Welcome in to the PHLY Phillies post-game show. I am Jamie Lynch, in with Renee Washington, Tyler Zulli, and this could be a special night. It could be a not ordinary night, and we'll find out what's cooking here as the Phillies are in the bottom of the eighth. But this show is presented to you by Bet365. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Renee, I would say doing a division clinching post-game show is not ordinary, just like our presenting sponsor here.
Not ordinary at all. We've been waiting for this moment with bated breath.
Since May 3rd, right?
Since May 3rd. May 3rd is when the Phillies took the lead in the NL East. They haven't been less than 5 games ahead since like May 19th. And so we've been waiting forever, it feels like, for this to actually happen. As we know, 2011 was a long time ago. We are overdue, and what makes it harder is we got down the stretch. It could have happened anytime this weekend, and we've just been waiting and wondering. So I like the fact, though, that the Phillies may have not only waited to come home to Citizens Bank Park, super mindful, super demure, super cutesy, then they'll also wait until we have a post-game show to possibly be talking about an NL East clinching victory on a victory post-game show. Not ordinary at all.
I think when we sat down, a couple of weeks ago to pick our post-game shows, we were like, well, let's mark the 23rd as the day they're going to win the division. So we were a little bit ahead of the curve there, Tyler.
Yeah, we knew this from the get-go, right?
Yeah, I got to be honest. It was always going to be the 23rd.
I got to be honest with you, Renee. The yesterday and Saturday were none of those things. I'm not cool, or I didn't get in on that trend until it hit Instagram like 6 weeks after it happened. Yesterday was none of those things. But it is cool now that you can kind of get to a point where you're breathing a sigh of relief because you're closing in on winning the division. It is cool to do it in front of your home crowd. Last night, however, was not a whole lot of fun. Not a lot of fun baseball to be played over the last 48 hours. But tonight, a little bit of a different vibe.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool, and there's a lot of like situational stuff about Aaron Nola. Maybe we'll talk about when the game's over. Like, if this is the playoffs, does Aaron Nola come out for that 7th inning, or is this a situation? Probably not. Is this a situation where you have a 6-0 lead, the division title is there for the taking? Rob Thompson said, "Hey, you're only at 88 pitches. Get out there and throw a couple. See if you can get out of this." Probably had a 100 pitch kind of cap on it, and it was a special division title situation tonight. In the playoffs, I hope Rob doesn't send him out there in the 7th.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Aaron did get to 101 pitches tonight when he got pulled. And at that time, as we know, the bases were loaded. And it did feel like that was an inning too long in general because had this been the playoffs, I actually agree with you, Jamie. But I don't mind the fact that
it's fine.
Yeah, Aaron got to leave the mound today. This is the final homestand, as we know, for the Phillies. So he got to leave the mound today, leave Citizens Bank Park, regular season-wise, in a much better space than last year. Because I don't know about you guys. I remember like it was yesterday, his final game at Citizens Bank Park last year, where he had the tear trickling down in the dugout. And we were talking about if it was soft or not, that he was crying and just getting into the emotional side of what could have at that time been his last time pitching with the Phillies. It's just a wild 1-year swing of where the Phillies are now in September in their final homestand versus where they were last year and obviously the year before, and just something to be so grateful about. Like, this is yes, we would have loved to have had it happen this weekend, but I don't know, but I've never felt nervous or anything that, okay, they haven't won, the magic number still trickling on. It just felt like, when it happens, it'll happen.
Yeah, so
I just cringed because I thought Rojas took that bunt off his hand for a second. So
to go back to the Nola thing for a second, right? So you get done 6. He gives you what was the number you said, Renee? 82
101 pitches.
No, prior in the 6th. It was like 80.
I think it was 86 or something.
Something along those lines. And you're right. Yeah. He probably doesn't come back out for the 6th. So 3 of the 4 batters that he faced in the 7th inning, Isaac Paredes, Nico Horner, and Christian Bethancourt, are all right-handed hitters. Pico Armstrong's the only lefty. So in that situation, heading into the 7th inning, I would imagine if this were a playoff game against this team, of course, you can only talk about the matchup that you had in front of you. If you were to play the Cubs in the playoffs in this exact scenario, you're probably going to a Ryan Kerkering in that spot. Maybe you go right to Jeff. Maybe you might just go right to Jeff Hoffman and say, "Hey, I know we're up 6-0, but let's close this thing out. It's a playoff game. Hoffman's got the 7th. Strom's got the 8th. Estevez has the 9th. And even though you're up 6 or 4, whatever the case may be at that current juncture, you just go, it's a playoff game. We're getting 9 outs. 9 outs are important. In this scenario, you let him try to, you kind of give him an extra opportunity to get out there, get that 7 inning mark. The command failed him a little bit towards the back half of that 7th inning. This stuff just wasn't nearly as sharp. I thought the curveball was really good again today for the second straight start. But you're right, probably in a playoff situation, he's not coming back out for the 7th to begin with at all.
No, I wouldn't think so. And Rojas just moved over the 2 runners there with a sac bunt. So Kyle Schwarber now up with a man on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Would like to see a couple more insurance runs here. I do wonder who's going to close it out because Hoffman was just in, Strom was in, and then I guess Estevez is closing this one out at home, leading up to the party. But we'll get into the Aaron Nola stats after the game. There's some pretty remarkable closeout game numbers for him. Very cool moment. He's pitched in a lot of these over the years now. All of a sudden, it's happened quick. And you mentioned Pete Crow Armstrong. Why the hell is he wearing the oven mitt in the back pocket? I'm completely with Kruk. That is bizarre. Just from being in the box, why would you want that? He must like it or something. But I can't recall seeing anyone else in Major League Baseball do that.
It's weird. This team's in a weird space for the Cubs. I know Corey was saying in chat how this Cubs team, they stink and they just look like they need a hug. This team.
Yeah, I think our CHGO counterparts are down quite bad right now.
Down really bad right now because they obviously already know they're out of it. They were close. And then, you look at their end to the season. It hasn't been a good one. And I don't know. I feel like everything that they're doing right now, I'm just kind of dismissing as you guys are done. You're mentally done. You're physically done. So when I saw the oven mitt in the back pocket, there's nothing comfortable about that. It's just bizarre and weird.
No, it looks uncomfortable.
Guys, I was told that they brought in the greatest manager in the history of baseball. I thought that they were going to go.
You are the number one Craig Counsell.
That's what I was. I'm the biggest Craig Counsell hater in the world. It's not fair because he is a good manager.
Wait, is there a good baseball, Craig? I mean, you just said Kimbrel there. You slipped up.
I did. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm also the biggest Craig Kimbrel hater in the world, apparently, too. I'm the biggest Craig Counsell hater in the world.
The manager should be able to win them games. It doesn't matter about the talent.
You know what?
No, it's the manager that does it all.
Tyler, now that you bring it up, I hated Craig Counsell's batting stance too.
So
he was like one of those up high guys.
Craig Counsell is a good manager. Don't get me wrong; he is a good manager. He's had success. He had a lot of success with the Brewers team. The love that he gets and the amount of money that the Cubs threw at him, I think are over dramatic. Because I'm seeing that Pat Murphy did an excellent job with the Brewers team. Lost Corbin Burns, that lost Chris
manager of the year. He's got to be, right?
I would think so. I think he probably has to be. Corey makes a good point. Craig Biggio was cool.
Well, I don't even feel like I don't really even care who's on the field right now. To me, it's just the Phillies and the NL East title. That's all I've been locked in on today. So when the oven mitt happened, I was kind of, you guys are, struggling as is. Your season's over. Do whatever you need to do. I know Frank can say that's what the kids are doing these days.
It's weird.
It's a really
seems like an obstruction, because I was kind of wondering, Kruk brought up, if that hits the glove, is that a hit by pitch? And it shouldn't be because that's not part of the body.
But neither would be a guard then, right? If you put a guard in
front
of
but that's a natural thing to wear an elbow guard or a chin guard, right?
You can't even have your untucked.
Well, Trey has his in his back pocket now. What the hell's going on? Has this been happening the whole time and I just didn't notice it? Trey's is folded up more.
I thought normally they get it handed to them once they get on base.
That's what I thought. But Trey has it folded up in his back pocket. Maybe it's more common and I just never noticed it until Kruk. The oddities of Kruk pointing out something. But Pete Crow Armstrong's was hanging out, dangling more.
That's the
Trey's
thing.
is at least folded over.
Trey's is not nearly as big as PCA's. Pete Crow Armstrong had it way sticking out. I feel like it was flopping over his pocket.
Well, if I wanted to, I don't know, all of a sudden get down to a game real quick, I don't know about you guys, but I would check the Game Time app because the Game Time app is the place for you to know about to buy your tickets, whether it's a music event, a concert. I use Game Time this Thursday. I'm going to a show at the Mann Center with my wife, and the Game Time app is awesome and the place to be. And you can use code PHLY for $20 off right now. I used it this summer out in Wrigley Field. I used it to get my tickets, girls, to see Raffy at the Met in town. I've used Game Time for everything. It's awesome. They have curated deals to make you find the best price on great seats. They have super deals. You can view your seats before you buy the tickets, and they have a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. Game Time's got your back. The seat view thing was awesome, especially at Wrigley Field at an old stadium. To know my view was unobstructed really was great. And the closer you wait till the event time, the cheaper the tickets will get. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Yes. And while you're also focusing on taking care of your decision making, let's make sure you're making the right decisions financially as well, because you want to also this time of year make sure you're saving, you're getting great rates, better fees. And with TrueMark Financial Credit Union, they've got you covered on just that. What I like about TrueMark Financial Credit Union is they've got all the little things, including their mobile app. With their mobile app, let's say you are planning to be on the road for Red October, you're looking to travel, you're following the Phillies around. Well, with their mobile app, you can keep track of your accounts and access it anytime, anywhere. Check your balances, check your credit score, check your transactions, make a transfer, pay some bills, and much more, all from the convenience of your phone. We love that convenience. 'Tis the season of Red October. We're also getting into the holidays. Well, it is the holiday season, guys. Make no mistake. Maybe you're also looking to plan to buy a house. Well, they've got a mortgage specialist that can actually offer you guys guidance on loan options and terms. They will help you assess your finances and your credit scores to determine your borrowing capacity, as well as help you save for a down payment and budget for closing costs. TrueMark Financial has all the little things. Their mobile app, they've got their Visa credit card, they've got their rewards programs, and they've got much more to help you keep track of your finances. So if you want to check them out for yourself, TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender. You can, of course, get more information at the link on the bottom of your screen, TrueMark.com/PHLY, in order to get started today and take advantage of all their great conveniences, adding your cards to your mobile wallet for easy in-store payments, all the mobile app features, as well as other capabilities that they have. So again, it's TrueMark.com/PHLY.
All right, welcome back in here. We are in the top of the ninth inning. It looked like somebody might have gotten injured by a foul ball there. But it looks like we're all good. Top of the ninth inning here with Carlos Estevez, I believe, coming out. Oh, it was a bat, not a ball. That's always scary. That's like the second bat that went into the stands tonight. That one broke. The other one got launched. So I'm glad everybody's all right. That's scary, especially when it's splintered like that. So top of the ninth here, ninth inning, division title on the line, 1 out, 2 to go. We got our Miller Lights ready. Oh, hello, Tyler. We got our Miller Lights ready to pop.
I remove myself because the dog's about to get into some trouble. And
Kaya senses the division title. The first
she knows
11 in the air.
That's hilarious.
Well, dogs can usually tell you like when a storm's coming or some other things.
Yeah, maybe they know there's a champagne shower coming soon. And something. They're sensing it.
Yeah, Kaya's just partying a little early because she knows.
It is wild. I cannot believe, guys, we are here, first of all. Like, I started to bring out my Red October last
season, right?
I know. This
season it flew by.
I feel like we were just talking about May, and we were just talking about them being the best in baseball. And here we are, like, I started reflecting back a little bit today. I was getting a little nostalgic on the season about how we got here. Obviously,
that's
far
gone
from being done, but
here we
are. Guys, we are close.
Marsh dropped it. Why did he drop that? That was bizarre. I think he was starting to
right now. It's NL East.
He was thinking about the cold Miller Lights that were going to hit his lips in about 10 minutes, and he got excited.
Do you guys remember? There was a couple of things talking about how quickly the season went. Do you guys remember the April game against Cincinnati where it was like raining sideways
God.
And Bryce Harper put like 3 balls into the seats that he had to hit 109 million miles an hour to get out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the first couple of Spencer Turnbull starts of the year that were just like magic. And it's amazing how quickly the season kind of evaporated on us. Like April and May took a little bit of time because the weather was warming up, and then it was like June, July, August, and now we're in late September.
Yeah, I feel like Justin Crawford just did a backflip behind us, like
right?
like 2 months ago. Like it really is kind of wild that we're on the doorstep of the playoffs, and the three of us were texting about playoff dates today, and yes, we'll be doing post game shows for every playoff game. Hopefully, there's a whole bunch of them. Hopefully, we're doing one that leads to a party on Broad Street. Yeah, like hopefully we're here for all of it. 2 outs now. Phillies on the verge of winning their first division title since 2011. I was out in the garage today, and I have all the pennants lined up since 2007, through current day. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna feel good to add another one up there on the garage wall.
It's exciting. We've had such a special season when you look at all the great moments from the players that stepped up to, the bullpen being best in baseball, the starting pitching. How about the complete games and shutouts? It's been a beautiful season of just high magical moments from throughout. Everybody's had their time to shine and had their moment when you look across this roster. And so to think like we're finally here knowing all the hard work and how everybody helped contribute in some way to help them win the NL East is special. It wasn't just one guy or 2 guys. The whole team had a hand in this as one of the best teams that we've seen in baseball, and they're not done yet. No, Jay, but we are like, I feel like it's New Year's Eve almost, like we're about to do the countdown because I've been reminiscing on
2
all
strikes. What's the order here? Not that we don't know that the Phillies are going to win this game, but who's live first? I'm at the 1-2 count, 13 seconds.
What are you talking about? Who's live?
Oh, from the 3 of us.
Yeah, who's going to be the last to react here?
I'm checking the update.
I'm not at my mom's tonight. My mom has apparently the greatest cable TV in the history of the world.
Yeah, you were like 35 seconons ahead of everybody.
So it won't be me tonight. Okay. Renee's gonna get the update on her phone. So.
Damn it! It's not that. It was the Rockies. It was a Rockies update.
You're cheating. Phone is cheating.
Why did the app give me a Rockies update? I don't even.
Because Charlie Blackmon's retiring. Hell of a career. 14 years in the big leagues. Really, really good ball player. Tortured teams for a long time. Just tortured like the Dodgers. Now granted, the Rockies were not very competitive for most of his career, but like
I wanted the Phillies to get him real bad one year.
Yeah,
he was a darn good baseball player. Tip of the cap to him for a really good career.
Yeah, happy retirement for Charlie Blackmon. Happy for that 14 great seasons. It just spoiled my notification. I thought it was going to be about the Phillies.
Yeah, I'm with Jay. Cheating. Use TV only.
My TV's
phone
behind.
Stuff. Well, that's tough.
Oh no!
It's gonna happen.
She's gonna do it anyway.
Okay, nothing. It was about the Flyers. What the heck?
Estevez is painting.
I had a buddy just text me. He goes, I know that they've been in the division lead since forever.
May 3rd.
There's a giddiness to this, right? Because it's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
They've made the playoffs in consecutive years. They've been to a World Series. This is just a check mark on the checklist, right? This is the next box checked off for something that we've expected now for a while. But there is something to be said about, okay, now you're at minimum hosting the wild card round. Now that's not the goal, right? That's not the goal is the bye. The goal is the 1 seed too, but the goal is the next.
I'm not done yet.
But this is the next box checked off on the checklist. It was make the playoffs. It's win the division. It's get a bye, and then it's playoff. It's playoffs from there. So this is there is like an extra added like enjoyment to this because it's been 13 years since they've won the division, and
it's been 85 years.
And this is the longest 2 outs ever. Since
Mickey Durkin just said, if I lose my Phillies minus 1.5, I'm going to go bananas. Not the Savannah bananas, Har.
I'll be honest with you, Mickey. I hope you win your bet, but if they win this game by 1, they still win this game. That's all I'm thinking about right now.
Well, Mickey, just be happy you're not jagging off tonight, and you didn't bet the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What?
Oh my
Because that was the worst bet I've ever made.
No, what was bad was you saying jagging off. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Ew.
Jamie is never gonna beat the sophomoric complaint.
Tyler, I guess they won. Renee had to
It's
cheat
probably
with
just
her
something
phone.
to do with her fantasy lacrosse team or something.
Yeah.
NL East champs. NL East
Well,
champs.
I'll react in a second when I see it.
All right, now
I'm suffering over here. Are you ahead of me, Tyler?
I am. Yes.
No, Hulu has live sports. Let me down. I'm last tonight. Damn.
Woo, let's go. I feel like we should be cheersing, guys. I need some wine.
Well, now I just finally saw it. And Castellanos catches it. That man's going to play the hangover game tomorrow, isn't he? He's going to play all 162. So, division champs. All right. That's cool.
I'll be honest.
Guys, we made it.
I'm not sure the hangover game is going to be as hangover game as it's been in years past. You still gotta buy to clinch.
But they're gonna party this one. They already said they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't think the playoffs made sense not to celebrate because that was expected. I think being that this is the first NL East championship in over a decade and it's only the 12th total as a club, I think you're celebrating tonight. Not to mention the Cubs are out of it. They've already folded like a lawn chair. Tomorrow, let it be a hangover game, and let's celebrate tonight. NL East. Are we going down to South Philly, guys? Are we celebrating?
Yeah, I don't think so. Shout out to our super chat. Corey said we're talking about the Fightins. Sad. So that's a great super chat. Thank you.
Y'all just let out a big now.
Dave Dombrowski looks quite happy. That's cool. So, like you said, Tyler, this is a big slump buster. 13 years. That's a long time because in 2011, I thought this was going to be a thing we did every 2 or 3 years at worst. No. And it was 13 years. So pretty cool stuff.
You think about the 5-year stretch that they had, which winning a division 5 consecutive years is extremely impressive. I mean, it's basically dominance. And there were some trials and tribulations like 2007, they had to come back. 2008, like the early portions of the season where
the Fanatics got the pennant out on the field. It's beautiful.
Oh, man.
But to win 5 in a row is sensational. Think about the Braves, right? Well, they win 14 straight division titles at one point.
Oh, you mean when they ruined my childhood?
I know.
And they just ate up an entire decade of my existence. You mean then, Tyler?
They won 1 World Series in that time frame.
I know.
They won 1 World Series with winning 14 straight division titles.
That was always my retort.
So unbelievably difficult to win a championship. Like we said, this is the next step. This is the checklist. So celebrate this, enjoy it, revel in it, and tomorrow get ready to get a step closer to clinching the 2 seed. You know what I mean? And that to me, it's so important to have a bye. I know people complain about the rest versus rust thing, but I think with this team, their pitching staff is so darn good. To be able to say you have a direct path to the NLDS and not have to worry about a random 3-game series, I think is so important.
It is. I think that's the most important part before you hop in, Renee, is just avoiding that, avoiding that 3-game series because anything can happen in that. It's horrifying.
Bingo. And honestly, as we talked about, there were steps that had to be taken. First, we knew the playoffs were definitely attainable since they've been the best team in baseball all season, but you still have to lock that in. You got to go ahead and lock in that you got a playoff spot, lock in that you win the NL East. They were around 500 the last 15 games. It's taken some time to get here. We've been watching the magic number, but it's taken a beat for them to actually lock in. As we know, they could have done it as soon as this past weekend. So although this is not the ultimate goal for the Phillies, as we all know, to your point, Tyler, this is a stepping stone. You have to check these boxes in order to go to the heights of what this team is expected of a deep run in Red October, a World Series. You've got to get these small steps out the way. So now check, won the NL East for the first time, have a chance to celebrate at home with your fans, with a chance to bring the pennant back finally in over a decade, 13 long years. And then now, as everyone's saying, you can start to look ahead, locking on the top seed, locking in that bye, and locking in to be ready for the playoffs. So this feels almost just kind of like, I don't know about you guys, I feel like a weight off of our shoulders because you don't have to talk about the magic number for the NL East, the magic number for this. All right, now it's just focused on get that first round bye and get ready for the playoffs. And now your attention can start to focus on that instead.
Yeah, I have the numbers here in terms of the odds for the bye. They're still very good, but watching the guys down on the field, watching the shirts and hats getting passed out, the hats are pretty solid. I like that charcoal gray kind of look.
I like it.
It's very cool. It kind of makes me I was able to be in the locker room for the 06 and 07 runs and like out on the field during all this. It makes me nostalgic for winning divisions again and just kind of being there and watching the enjoyment. It's not even just the players, like the staff from top to bottom, like the whole stadium is so happy. Every single staff member that's there every single night and busts their hump, to provide a great experience is just elated. And it's such a cool evening down at the ballpark. And you see John Middleton out there hugging everyone. This is good. This feels good. Party it up tonight. Enjoy the hell out of it. And go get a bye. And the Phillies have as good a chance as anybody in baseball to go win a World Series.
Yeah, I'm interested to know how other people are feeling. I know we got Lisa, Greg, Mickey, different folks in the chat.
We own the East.
Daniel,
or the shirt.
As we're talking, Spiral, as we're talking through, I personally just feel like it's been a long time coming. We've been knocking on the door, and finally you take that next step. Even just kind of dragging out this clinching moment also has made it a bit more like just kind of waiting around. It's like you're waiting for Christmas, waiting for New Year, whatever. You're just waiting. So love the fact, again, that they have had a chance to win today. And in a game that they came out early, and I know we'll talk about the game specifically, but it also was just a very light game. You knew early on they're going to win today. You could feel it from JT's 2-run homer to Kyle Schwarber and moving forward, even to the defensive plays, Johan Rojas, Nick Castellanos, JT to Trey Turner on second. Like the plays they were making in the early parts of this game, you knew they were going for blood today. This was an NL East clinching game, which is how they started strong and never looked back.
Yesterday was a weird first inning, and I think it parlayed into a much more frustrating game for this team, right? So they had McGill on the ropes yesterday. They get one, which was good. I mean, to be able to go out and get one was a good start, but they left the bases loaded. They had him he threw almost 30 some odd pitches in the first inning. And it felt to me like they kind of let him settle down a little bit. And then the offense got stagnant. We've talked about it a ton. The three of us talked about how good Edwin Diaz was yesterday. They didn't have a whole lot of answers for him. And yesterday felt like there was a sense of the Mets needed that one much more than the Phillies did. Now, it's no excuse. Yeah. The offense was lifeless yesterday. And it was unfortunate because Zach Wheeler was terrific in yesterday's start. 7 plus innings, was really, really good. But yesterday the offense felt lifeless. Today they come out and get a couple early. And then it felt like Renee, you used the word like it was a lighter game. It felt like, now granted, again, that's probably because the Cubs are out of the playoffs and the Mets are fighting for their playoff lives. But it felt like they took control in this game early. Nola was sharp from the get-go. And they combined the two things that, the two things that kind of had been marring them with, they were getting one, but not the other. Like they were getting good pitching and they weren't scoring, and they were getting, they were scoring and giving up 10 runs. They combined both of those things early tonight and jumped out to a lead, never squandered it. Nola pitched really well. The offense was consistent. They jumped on, the bulk guy, right? And, this one felt comfortable. The playoff atmosphere in New York this weekend was awesome. Like I know they only took one of 4, but it was great to see playoff type baseball. This one felt like kind of almost like a tune-up game a little bit because the Cubs were lifeless tonight and the Phillies took advantage, and good for them. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. And they look like a team that celebrated. They're ready to enjoy the night and have a good evening. But I think they're ready to stand on business and have a nice celebration. But they know that there's more to come.
It's funny you say that, Tyler. Vinny Curry yesterday used that line. He said, a lot of the kids are saying these days to stand on business. And then you just hit me with the standing on business. But you're right. I mean, the field does look fairly tame. They're going to ramp it up in the locker room some because it's a long ass season, and you should enjoy this. It's very cool, but I'll be honest here. In the trust tree amongst friends, amongst the Philly sickos, it feels good, but it doesn't feel special. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel yes, Tyler, because division titles are cool, but like if this team doesn't, and I'm not trying to like put pressure on them. We all know what it is. If this team doesn't, get to another World Series and win one, yeah, that's all. There's bigger fish to fry. It feels very nice. Don't get me wrong. This feels nice. It doesn't feel great. That's all.
Here's what I think it also comes down to.
That's all.
The Phillies have been sitting in a position to win the NL East since May 3rd.
We've known this were coming since May 3rd. Yeah, that's
right.
kind of my point.
So this is kind of like, at this point, it's just a formality.
It's already mentally happened for me.
Now,
yeah, they were already division champs.
You don't want to be spoiled again because it hasn't happened since 2011, which we all understand. You've all been a part of the frustration. But because this is not a surprise, we've been waiting around. We've been waiting all day since May 3rd. Putting my Carrie Underwood voice. Like, this is not, and they've been in a great spot. Like, it's been since May 19th that they were 5 games or more ahead of anybody in the NL East. So this wasn't a down to the wire, fighting for your life thing. But it is something you have to take a moment to pause and enjoy, which the guys will do tonight.
Yeah. And Bam 100. Don't get me wrong. It feels nice.
Right. It feels, but the other part of this is we all know.
But I'm greedy. Yeah.
Next month, this moment may or may not feel as special. If they go out and they crap the bed in the playoffs, we don't care about the NL.
Oh yeah, but you got to enjoy it now.
They go out and they win the World Series. Now this is all just part of the moment. But I think it's hard to like enjoy this fully because a part of us is also keeping in mind the bigger goal is still up for grabs. The bigger goals are still up for grabs. Top seed to buy a nice.
Trying to say anything salacious. We don't have to keep talking about my comment for 5 minutes. It's just,
I understand what you're.
It's nice. It's very nice.
I understand where you're coming from. This is exciting.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, cool. You've been NL East Division champs in my mind for 3 months now. So get me to the damn playoffs is kind of what I'm saying. I'm ready. Like I don't want to do this last week. Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you need to parse your comment into like 3 separate comments. Yes, you're right. This was an expected outcome. They had a tremendous lead.
Yeah, I just want to play baseball now.
Started by it was a tremendous lead that was started by one of the great starts in franchise history. They were 40-19. They had a double-digit lead. It slipped a little bit. They brought it back. They fought back. So yes, this was an expected outcome. So yes, that part is true. That's part 1. Part 2 doesn't take away from the fact that they are enjoying that. Like you can enjoy a division title for the first time in 13 years. It means something. It's special. They know
doesn't feel as special as I thought. That's my only point.
I get that.
I think that then that brings you to part.
It's a slump buster.
That brings you to part 3 of this, parsing it into 3 points. Where if it doesn't feel important to you or it doesn't feel as special as you thought it was going to, I think you're living in a headspace where if they don't win a World Series, then this is like some kind of failure, which is objectively not correct.
No, not a failure. It's just like it does very. I don't know.
Only one team wins it.
It confirms that you're good. Yeah. I know. Only one team. It's hard to win.
Go yell at clouds then.
I'm just saying.
Clouds, old man.
The only point is this. I'm not in there partying. We don't have to keep talking about my comment, guys. It was a throwaway thing. All right, we're moving on. Jeez. So yes, the
guys are in the clubhouse getting lit. They're popping bottles. They're
stubs and no.
And here we are arguing if it was important or not.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. No. I don't want to be a wet blanket on a celebration night. I'm just saying, I'm not in that locker room. I'm now ready for playoff baseball. All right. So the next thing up, the most important thing now is the bye because it eliminates the 3-game series. According to Fangraphs, right now, they have a 98.9% chance of getting that bye. to the NLDS. So that is most important. 99% is pretty good last I checked. So you like their odds there as Rob Thompson talks to the team.
Are you
All right,
raising your hand?
I am.
Zoom link? Are you asking permission to speak?
We're not talking about my comments anymore. It's fine. The division is fun. Enjoy the night. I'm just saying, give me playoff baseball now.
That's why I raised my hand. I'm going to bring it back to you, Jamie.
No,
are you
moving on.
Are you not loving this moment? Look at your sweet boy Ranger in the front.
He's got
getting after it with the champagne.
He's got the goggles on.
Got the goggles on. Like
there it is. There's Rob getting the champagne.
Locked and loaded, Rangers. You know I'm on delay, so I'm the replay for you guys. But Ranger Suarez of all, like, was one of the most locked in with his bottle. Look at your sweet, adorable Ranger. There's some guys.
I don't know the answer to this. Do you think they go for expensive champagne? Probably not, right?
I mean, their definition
a lot of champagne waste.
Pause.
Do they have a waste round and then the good stuff?
Their definition of expensive is different than ours. So, it's probably expensive compared to what we would be buying for champagne. They're going to get a nice cheap one. All right, now we get to watch who's the funniest in the clubhouse.
Who was that with the UNLV helmet? Was that Bryson Stott running through with an UNLV football helmet? That's pretty funny.
All right, Garrett's got his FOCO
of course
overalls on, of course, shirtless overalls. It's time to bring out the shirtless overall Garrett Stubbs. This is his moment to shine, guys.
Oh, tomorrow is Garrett Stubbs' day. It is hangover game day. This is Garrett Stubbs' day.
It's a roving holiday for Philadelphia fans, the Garrett Stubbs game.
This UNLV helmet is hilarious.
Yeah, football helmets out of context of football stadiums worn are absolutely hilarious all the
Especially
time.
Without ads and stuff.
That's great. That's good work by Stott there.
You guys think Xfinity Live goes, oh man, we are getting paid tonight.
Ooh, I should go to Xfinity, guys, just to map things out for us. Take one for the team.
You should go party.
I should go party. I'm like 8 minutes from there. I should go party. And then I'll just let you guys know. I'll just give you the updates from Xfinity.
So if Bet365 had odds on the highest blood alcohol percentage of a Philly tonight, I mean, I think it all goes without saying Garrett Stubbs is like, the favorite on the odds board. Who would be two? You think it's Casty thrown down tonight? The Schwarber, drink like with his Midwestern strength, like 40 beers. Like
it's a difference though. They definitely can handle, I feel like, a lot of beer. Like Kyle and Nick can throw back a lot of beer and still be fine. So I absolutely think it's them. Nick, the shirtless Nick. First of all, the tattoos are lit. Love the tattoos, Nick Castellanos. Him and Bryce are raising the bar, going shirtless. I'm not mad at it. I think it's.
If I looked like Bryce Harper, I would walk around shirtless at every opportunity. If I looked like any of these guys shirtless, I would just never have a shirt on.
You were. I can't. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Why would you have a shirt on?
All right, Lisa thinks Bone or Marsh.
Tonight's baseball game.
Oh, Marsh is probably going to get lit.
He definitely
Tyler, this is the important stuff. Who's partying the hardest?
This is the time. This is why we're having a post-game show right now. Who's going to be the most? Who can drink the most beer or the highest blood alcohol? Because that's.
I think that must be the bullpen catcher and Jose Alvarado are having like a belly shaking dance off right there. That was hilarious. Yeah, they're partying tonight. It got ramped up in the locker room. This is awesome. Fun. So have either of you been in the champagne party room before?
No, I don't really.
It is wild. You get like just soaked. They let you in after a little while. Yeah, the media's in there, and I mean, the corks are flying. The people that have better relationships than I do, the players are coming up and pouring stuff on their heads. Like, I'm sure, notepads and microphones get ruined tonight. It's a pretty crazy scene in there.
Yeah, you got to go in prepared with your goggles and stuff on, and poncho, or just be ready to get drenched and just take it all in.
Most of the vets are in rain gear.
Oh yeah, there are more shirtless guys now. Marsh has lost his shirt also.
Marsh is definitely maybe second ahead of Castellanos.
Jose Alvarado's a sneaky good choice though, because he definitely
brought the huge tequila bottle last year.
He's not throwing back the beer; he's going with the tequila.
And Bohm looks pretty hyped too.
This is a moment. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
It's nice. It's nice. So we will get into some of the specifics here. One thing I wanted to read you about Aaron Nola. Kudos to that man for going tonight. We talked about it. If it's a playoff series, does Rob let him come out for the 7th there? Probably not. But his night tonight is kind of emblematic of opportunities he's had in his career in closeout opportunities. This is pretty great. Since 2022, Aaron Nola has now started 7 games in which the Phillies could either clinch a postseason berth, clinch a postseason series, or clinch a division title. Nola has posted a 1.62 ERA, only allowed 8 earned runs in 44 innings, with 46 strikeouts to only 7 walks for a 6.5 strikeout to walk ratio in those 7 games. Aaron Nola, big game pitcher, like people have always said.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate part is the only one of those games that people want to pinpoint is Game 6, or was it Game 7? Whichever one he started against the Diamondbacks the second time through. And he wasn't particularly sharp. He left the mound in the middle of an inning. But the ones prior to that, right? The start against the Marlins, he was really good. The start against the Cardinals in 2022, he was really good. The start against the Astros to get them into the playoffs in 2022, he was really good. He has done a really nice job of stepping up in big moments. The curveball dances a little bit more, I think. The control is there in big spots. He kept the ball in the yard. Now I know he gave up a couple of hits late in the 7th inning today. We talked about like maybe he doesn't pitch that spot if it's a playoff game or a higher leverage game. But he did a really nice job tonight. And he's done a really nice job in the past of these high leverage moments, these intense, high electric atmosphere, playoff atmosphere type moments of stepping up when he needs to.
Yeah, and I like the fact that this is now 3 straight Septembers that we've seen Aaron Nola on the mound at big moments to help them get one step closer to what they're looking for in the playoffs. This is his time. That's why I really remember last season for Aaron Nola, the moment where he was tearing up in the dugout, the moment in the playoffs. When you think about the big moments for the Phillies recently, of course, it helps he's been with the Phillies his entire career. But when you look at the recent moments for the Phillies, it's Aaron Nola pitching. Recently it's Zach Wheeler as well, of course. So, I like the fact that today he had a chance to leave the mound, setting the team up for clinching the NL East, setting them up for these champagne showers and exciting celebrations, and that it was through Aaron Nola they were able to lock in. We predicted would it be a Zach Wheeler start at Citi Field as a full circle moment, would have been a Ranger Suarez start on Saturday as a redemption and an I'm back type of performance. But it was today. It was Aaron Nola reminding folks who he is and why he is our number 2 pitcher, as now you get a chance to celebrate. And Aaron Nola is someone that you can't take for granted. Big guy that you can count on and bet on in these moments.
Yes. Go ahead, Tyler.
He's going to have, much like any pitcher, unless your name is like Zach Wheeler or this year, Tarek Skubal or Chris Sale, he's going to have, clunker starts, right? Every starter does. The perception on Aaron Nola is, gives up a lot of home runs, which is true. And at times has issues with like nibbling around the corners instead of attacking hitters, which is also true. When Aaron Nola is at his best, he's going right at guys. He's throwing the 2-seamer off the hands to lefties and running it back over the heart of the plate. He's throwing the curveball down and away to lefties. He's throwing it down and away to righties. Breaking it off the plate and snapping it off the plate. He's willing to throw it for strikes. He's willing to throw it off the plate. He trusts his catcher. He trusts JT. Nola, when he is on, his command is significant. His pitch selection is pure. He and JT have a good rapport because we talked about it at the beginning of the year. The numbers back up in the regular season, at least. At times, he and JT are not on the same page. And when Aaron Nola is on, you can tell that he and JT are on the same page. Tonight, I thought was one of those nights, and you laid out those clinching, high leverage type of games. The numbers are significant, and you're going to need Aaron Nola in a playoff run. Obviously, he's your number 2 starter. If you find a spot where maybe Christopher Sanchez is going to go game 2 because they're home and he pitches game 3, whatever the case may be, you need Aaron Nola to succeed, much like you need Zach Wheeler to succeed, much like you need Chris Sanchez to succeed. This pitching staff, we've highlighted it, is really good. If he can give you 6 strong like he did tonight, you turn things over to the bullpen, you're in a really, really good spot. But Aaron Nola tonight, and when he's at his best, it's when the two-seamer's working. It's when his pitch selection is strong. It's when he's working up and down in the zone, changing eye level, changing speeds, throwing strikes, getting ahead on hitters, and keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Yeah, tremendous night for him, and a good Nola now. 2 starts in a row heading into October is great stuff for Phillies fans everywhere. And let me tell you about Bet365. They're our presenting sponsor here at the PHLY post-game NL East Division Champ Show. And I want to tell you about why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Right now, new users use code PHLY365 at sign up, and you can get $200 in bonus bets. Keep an eye out for our custom PHLY boosts every weekend. I get to help cook these bad boys up. We've now hit 2 out of the 3 we've offered to the good people at PHLY and all Bet365 users. So keeping a lookout for those. I've hit a plus 600 and a plus 550. I get to work with the people at Bet365, and they get to boost it up for you so we can all win. They pioneered live in-game betting. They stream over 780,000 events every year. They have over 90 million users worldwide. And right now, get that $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Use the code PHLY365 to sign up, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get those $200 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. They have the best early payout offers across sports. Whatever your sport is, if your team hits a certain criteria, you can get cashed out right then and there on the spot. So download the Bet365 app, use code PHLY365 when you sign up to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, and while we're handling some business, let me tell you about our friends over at the Glatt Hair Restoration, where they are working with the Morgenstern Center for Orbital and Facial Plastic Surgery, as the Glatt Group has added to their practice by providing you with some great opportunities. If you ever need to have any sort of hair restoration procedures done, you can take advantage of connecting with some of the best in the area. I know our very own John Marks is a great friend of theirs, or speaks so highly of their work that they do, and is a true advocate as well, because with them, what makes it better is that they provide you with a peerless approach to care, expert team, and unmatched Glatt system. They also have state-of-the-art location. They have some stellar results, and under the direction of Dr. Morgenstern, who is a highly respected plastic surgeon, they have a highly trained expertise that they bring as a team. Each member of their exceptionally trained team brings 30 plus years of industry experience. So hair restoration is all that they're focused on. They want to provide you with a great experience, because it is very stressful when you're dealing with any sort of hair loss. And with Glatt Hair, they help with all stages of hair loss. They have leading edge treatments for prevention and restoration, laser light therapy, non-invasive TED treatments, vitamin supplementation. They also have, along with that TED treatment, they've got topical and oral medications, PRP and stem cell restoration, plus hair restoration surgery. So they work with each patient to get you an opportunity to have complimentary one-on-one consultations to figure out the best course of treatment. And then through that, there are caring patient activates and advocates are going to work with you to be able to provide you with a phone call, a follow-up, and take the steps necessary, because Glatt Hair isn't just about restoration. They're also about innovation. They have breakthrough treatments that are dramatically changing lives. You can change your hair, you can change your life, because bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. You can regain your confidence. Visit glatthairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started. Again, visit glatthairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started with Glatt Hair today, helping you to get that confidence back and get your hair back in track as well.
Yeah, watching the families now all party out on the field. Always cool to see the guys and the kids and the wives enjoy it because, you know, it's hard on families, I'm sure. You know, of course, the checks in the direct deposit help every couple weeks. But, you know, it's a long season for families, too. So it's always cool to watch them celebrate together out on the field. It's a fun night down there.
Bryson Stott, I had a moment to catch him, some of his post game with T-Mac, and he was just mentioning how special it is and how, you know, each season he's been here, this group has gotten a bit further. And that's the truth. You know, you look at the last 3 years, they keep going a step further. They keep accomplishing more, winning more. And the feats that they have been able to accomplish so far this season, tremendously further than where they were last season. You can think even back to last September, the discussions we were having around the Phillies, of the frustrations of, and even figuring out, okay, is someone like Aaron Nola coming back? Is this his final season here? You know, they've taken care of all the little details, the extensions, winning, the history, the depth, having the players that were able to come in. Though I see Weston Wilson in the clubhouse celebrating. He's a great example, a guy that's been able to get called up and make an impact. The success of the pitching staff. So hearing Bryson Stott mentioning just, yes, we love the fact that we were able to do this with the fans, celebrate with the fans, and also each step get further, knowing that we're not done, it's special. And now you get to see them dancing. I agree with Lisa. Like Marsh is going crazy. You get to see everybody's personality come out. They can let loose a little bit. They can celebrate with their friends, celebrate with their family, knowing like a big box has been checked off.
Ranger just had me cracking up.
I was watching him.
Did you see that?
Now
that was pretty funny. I think Ranger knew what he was doing there.
I like Brandon Marsh is bringing out the
Trey
moves.
Turner goes with the yeah, he's doing some kind of dance that I'm sure the kids all know on TikTok. Trey Turner goes with the hoodie and the goggle over the hoodie look.
It looks like what's that? Like it looks like a video game. There's like Among Us or something.
It's like Minion-esque.
It's giving me Minion vibes for sure.
Yeah, because it takes your whole head out of it.
Is he an imposter?
Yes, it's giving.
An imposter?
That's Among Us. That's what Renee was.
It does look like Among Us. That's okay. All right,
another guy we have to talk about tonight because he was a big part in the win. He's getting interviewed by T-Mac right now. Kyle Schwarber becomes the first Philly since Ryan Howard to have back-to-back RBI seasons. What a great accomplishment. Also, side note, ridiculous that Howard did that for 6 straight seasons. What a beast.
Yeah, it's wild when you hear these stats that are coming out. And for Kyle to have the day that he had today first of all, there were a number of different milestones we got out of today's game that were just kind of like, wow, really? Aaron Nola stats being one of them. But as you mentioned, with Kyle to have that 100 back-to-back RBI season, he also is just the third Philly since 1920 with 100 runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 walks in back-to-back seasons. He joins a great group with that. Bobby Abreu did it back in 04 to 05.
Bobby Baseball.
He did it back in 76 to 77. And the last Major League Baseball player to do it overall was back in 2014 and 2015, and that was Jose Bautista. So it's not something that happens often.
Former Philly great.
Right. Having back-to-back seasons of 100-plus RBIs, 100-plus walks, 100-plus runs. And Kyle Schwarber just quietly made some history today, gets that solo home run, a huge moment for him. So, everybody did their part, and this team's still just making some history as they're on the road to whatever's next. Hopefully, World Series.
Listen, we've talked about this all year. They're going to go as their top 4 or 5 goes, and that's just how this is going to be. We know the pitching is next to elite. Elite's hard to use because there's probably only like 1 or 2 elite groups in each positional group across baseball. But I think it's pretty darn close to elite. Like if you get the pitching you expect, you're going to be in just about every game. But this team's going to go as their top 4 or 5. If you want to include JT, because JT had a nice night tonight as well. They're going to go as their highly paid guys are going to go. Kyle Schwarber sets the tone for the top of this lineup. Trey Turner's plate approach at times has been frustrating this year. If he stays within himself, he's going to be on base, 2 times a night because, they're going to have to at some point throw him strikes, and he's going to take advantage. Bryce Harper, the power seems to be coming back. He's a little more. I don't know if you guys noticed. He seems a little more upright in his stance and his approach the last couple of nights. I don't know if that's an adjustment or if that's just coincidence that I noticed it the last couple of days. And then you go to like Bohm, Castellanos, JT. That's your 6 right there, right? And you're going to need to rely upon having probably 3 of these 6 guys on any given night give you productivity. But we know what their pitching is, and to win a 7-game series against the team whose pitching is this good is going to require your pitching to be equally as good. That also plays into part to say that you can't have a bad plate approach. We've seen them recently, they strike out like 61 times on the road trip. That can't be your mantra. It's got to be selective. It's got to be smart. You got to be smart at the plate. Johan Rojas tonight sacrifice bunted twice, up 6 runs. That was done intentionally. Don't think that was just them trying to move runners along in a 6-run game. That's them getting him bunts down in real life time come playoff time, because that's going to be his role. It's going to be move runners over, use your speed and move runners over. But this team is going to go with their top 4, 5, 6 guys. And tonight, the Schwarber set the tone. JT had a nice night, hit a couple of balls hard. And you're going to pick and choose. Like I said, if you can get 3 of their 6 on any given night, you're probably in a really good spot.
Yeah, they're in a great spot, and getting Nola back is excellent. It gives you, Nola's going to start game 2. I really don't see a scenario where they don't give it to him. So we'll see. Now, go defend that 99% chance of getting that bye and eliminating the 3-game series. I for one buy a little bit of the time off that time of year, but to eliminate the 3-game series is the easiest decision there is. So a couple other things as we get out of here tonight. We have a Spencer Turnbull update. So they're going to keep him, basically on the roster so that if somebody else were to get injured, he's going to stay on a throwing program and kind of try to stay as ready as he can. But we'll see what happens. They're going to keep him on his program. I don't expect to see Spencer Turnbull again this year. Sad for the guy, but maybe he put enough on tape there for 2 months that make himself some change next year in the league. So, we've kind of talked about it the whole time. Didn't really expect anything from Turnbull.
Yeah, him and Austin Hayes. Austin Hayes is another one. I know it was said that the Phillies plan to activate Austin Hayes on Tuesday. They were going to option a player to the minors, but that player cannot return back for 10 days, so could still play in the NLDS roster, assuming, of course, the Phillies do lock in his first-round bye. I know Matt Gelb was tweeting that out. So the Phillies are planning to keep some AAA players nearby since the season did end for them, and they are going to be able to join Phillies for workouts next week. So now you're
Scott
just doing
Kingery, offensive player of the year.
It's now time to do the little things, because to your
he was
point,
hitter of the year, Tyler.
As we know, you want to make sure you have the roster rounded out as best you can, but the team's going to come and go as their top dogs do. And today, 11 hits on the day. And of that, you had Kyle, who went 2 for 5. Trey went 1 for 5. Bryce went 2 for 3. Bohm was hitless in the game, but did draw a walk. Nick was 2 for 3. Like, everybody through the lineup gave you something. And not to mention, as we know, on the defensive side, we saw some great plays from the start. Nick Castellanos and Johan had some great plays in the outfield. JT had a really heads-up play to Trey Turner for an out. So to see them today getting it done in all phases of the game, and then you have the home runs by JT, by Kyle, you had the big plays, the RBI by Nick, you had that fluky error that Bryce is able to score on. You need your big guys at this point in the season. That's who you're relying on, and that's the biggest key. That today we saw that. And also, side note, want to just give some love. We always talk about the daycare, but it's the babies that are out right now, because so cute to see. And you just get reminded of all the baby boom that's been happening with the Phillies as they're celebrating. Team. Lots and lots of babies out there. They're so cute and they're so little, but This is one of my favorite parts when you get to see them interacting with their babies.
Renee, you brought up Nick Castellanos with 2 hits tonight, and I know we've harped on this a ton, so I don't want to continue to rehash the same thing. His batting average is up to 252 now. To say that heading into the playoffs, listen, people are going to go 252. He's making $20 million. He's only hitting 252 and have 20 home runs. And in the totality of the season, sure, you could say if you just blind looked at a box score, it's a little underwhelming for a guy making $20 million. But to understand the totality of this season and how bad he was in April and May, to the point where people were talking about DFAing the guy and just saying to which I think we all thought was ridiculous, but there was talk about it, right? To the point where he was getting talked about bench.
Yeah, not by us, but it was out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
DFA him, trade him for a bag of balls.
Everything was being said.
To be at 252 with 20 plus home runs and the extra base hits that he has now, it's been nothing short of incredible. All right. Jamie, that's a really good word to use. It's just been a second half to remember for a guy who plays every single day. I don't think people recognize how hard it is to raise your average in the second half of the season when you play every day the way that Nick Castellanos does.
Yeah, it's really a remarkable turnaround. Hopefully one of the other guys with a turnaround, there's a nice piece by Alec Coffey the other day that the team and Ranger noticed some things where he wasn't using his legs as much in his delivery, probably to compensate for the back issues that he was going through. They've worked on some things, and over the last start and I guess, bullpen sessions he's done on the side, they're really happy with his delivery, getting more push off from his legs. So hopefully, we get a chance to see a upward rising stock of Ranger Suarez heading into the playoffs, because I think the thing that has me feeling best about the Phillies as we head into another World Series run is the bullpen now. And the starting pitching has been great. Wheeler and Nola coming into the playoffs. Christopher Sanchez is having a career year. And if you can get a little bit of Ranger back, this bullpen, man, this could be the lights out bullpen in baseball this year. They have that type of stuff. So kind of final thoughts there was just the bullpen has me most excited for this playoff run, because compared to what we went through last year, Craig Kimbrell just got DFA'd, and we were counting on that man as our backbone. So to see what we have now, it's nasty.
That was our solution last season. NLCS was a Craig Kimbrell who just got DFA'd and an Orion Kirkering that had played about a week of big leagues baseball,
5 innings.
And now you have a chance to you go from a guy that had 5 games to 5 guys in Orion Kirkering, who's had a tremendous consistent year. And obviously we know the list: Strom, Hoffman, Estevez adds to that. Orion Kirkering, Jose Alvarado. This is they've done a really good job of rounding out the pitching staff. And as much as we talk about the offense, and yes, we all know you have to score runs to win games. When you have a pitching staff that can set you up to go deep into games and have 1 or 2 runs given up, it sets you up so much better for winning games. And to have the bullpen top across the league in FIP, top 10, they are in every category offensively for runs scored and all the offensive categories for their starting pitching, for their bullpen. They're top across the league. And that's where it begins. The backbone of this team has been the pitching staff, from the starting pitching to the bullpen, to be able to be so lights out and so consistent. And now you set up Bryce, Trey, Kyle, Nick to be able to step up, knowing my pitcher's got my back, and now I'm going to help them and give them some run support. This is the making of the depth and the versatility in how they can win games. They can outscore you, but they can also outpitch you. It gives you some comfort going into the postseason that we didn't have the last 2 years for this team. There was a lot more question marks and a lot more gray areas that we were concerned about. So I think the pitching staff is what's going to be what makes or breaks this team's postseason run.
Well, if you look back to the 2022 team that went to the World Series, now this is not fair to the team. What I'm about to say is not fair to the bullpen, because a lot of guys stepped up in big spots. That looking back, you went, that guy was good. Like an Andrew Bellotti, for example, a Connor Brogdon. Those guys had career years and were viable pieces for the Phillies bullpen in the World Series, in the playoff run. Sir Anthony Dominguez was good that year. So it's not fair what I'm about to say to because they all pitched well. But Jose Alvarado was your number one high leverage reliever on the 2022 World Series team. And he was disgusting. Don't get me wrong. But he was your number one high leverage reliever that year. Now, a turn of events, obviously. But you're looking at a guy who is like your 5 out of this bullpen. You're 4. You're
now, currently, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you have a bullpen with a solidified closer. Now, I know people have talked about, would you go to Hoffman in big spots versus Estevez, but a solidified closer in that closer role, a guy from each side of the mound, both a lefty and a righty who you enormously trust in Matt Strom and Jeff Hoffman, a second righty who has become better and better and better as the season progresses. And like you said, Renee, last year had a cup of coffee and then was tasked with, hey, get out there and pitch, kid. Good luck in the playoffs. Ryan Kirker, and he's gotten better as the year goes on. And then you've got some low leverage guys that you feel decently comfortable with, like a Jose Ruiz, who we talked about in May. We're like, yeah, he's not a playoff, he's not going to make the playoff roster. He's nice to have. And then all of a sudden he worked his way on to being a solidified member of the playoff roster. He's going to be your low leverage guy. Tanner Banks is going to be your lefty low leverage guy. He's probably the one that I would use the least out of this entire, group of bullpen arms. But to say that you've got like 4 or 5 guys that you pretty innately trust heading into a postseason where you've got at least 3 starters that you innately trust. I mean, I think that's a recipe for pitching success. And that's why, as we kind of center it back, that's why like the offense, it's relying upon them, because I think we can all agree the pitching staff's going to be really good.
Yeah. I'm marveling right now. Kay Harper has a actual digital camera out on the field taking pictures of the family. I haven't seen one of those in years. I didn't know that was still a thing. People using the old school digital cameras. Look at that.
I have seen a lot more people doing that.
Polaroid guy, Jamie?
Yeah, I've seen a lot more people doing that to capture the moment, because Bryson Stott's wife also has an actual camera.
Real cameras are coming back?
Yeah, because go figure, it's nice to have. First of all, the quality looks great. I see her editing the picture as she's taking it. But also it just is, phones don't compare. The camera can't.
What's next? Headphones with wires?
Yeah, seriously. Is everything coming back? Yes, and I agree. I forget who it was in the chat here. Yeah, John Peace. If they get a Ranger adjustment like we got last year with Nola, look out, because this team's going to be nasty. So it's certainly fun to talk about being division champs. So much fun that we're going to do it again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Jim Salisbury is going to join us at 11:30. I didn't ask him if he was down there tonight, but knowing Jim, he probably sensed the division title was on the line. Wouldn't be surprised if he's down there tonight at all. But NL East division champs, first time in 13 years. Aaron Nola leads the team into the postseason in a loud way. Now go get a bye, and let's take another crack at this World Series thing, because this is one of the more likable groups of guys the Phillies have ever had. There's some great players on this team, and baseball justice would tell you that a team like this deserves to win a freaking title. So this is a great year to do it. You have as good of a chance as anyone. I'm really excited for postseason baseball now.
I'm super excited, guys, and seeing them with their families. Weston Wilson's baby's about a few weeks old.
Cal Stevenson with a stogie.
Oh my God, this is making me even more excited. This team is fantastic. This team is so much fun. So glad that we get to do all this with you guys and talk it over with you guys. James Alexander, Greg, Lisa, everybody in the chat, John Peace, Philly, JRB. Like, we're just getting started. This is just the beginning. As fun as this season has been, let's hope this is just the beginning of what is really going to be a magical Red October. That's all I got.
Yeah, I want the 1 seed. John Peace, I'm with you. Go effing take it.
There's the 1 seed. I know we're going to wrap up shortly. The 1 seed conversation's interesting. I think we could talk for like 20 minutes on that one. right? Because
Yeah,
it's like,
who do you want? Do you want Milwaukee
are
or
you
the
looking
Mets,
at
or do you want the
guys?
Diamondbacks
at having the first
at the
round? You know, we could talk
Padres?
about it for
I
half
know.
an hour tomorrow, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
dive.
we'll talk about it tomorrow.
It's an interesting conversation.
I'm
We're
getting
gonna
to the
be
point where I don't care who we play. I think the Phillies are their own worst.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's stopping the Phillies from winning a World Series is just themselves and timely hitting. And do they have it or do they not have it? And you never know until you're playing the game. So that's what makes baseball great. Even the greatest team in the world versus any other playoff team, it's still like a 60-40 at best chance the team wins. So that's what makes baseball beautiful. And Tyler, how can you not be romantic about baseball?
How can you guys be so calm in watching Bryce making his baby laugh and the little baby giggles while his wife is taking the picture? I cannot handle all these babies. This is too
A
much.
lot of babies.
You guys see her little smiles.
Yeah.
I was hoping she would spit up on him because that'd be so funny. But the giggles were way better. We gotta go. This is too much. This is too much baby fever.
All right, go enjoy your baby family viewing celebration party there.
So cute.
Yeah, for Tyler Zulli, Renee Washington, Jamie Lynch, and thanks to our friends over at Bet365 for presenting you this NL East Division Champs 2024 edition of the PHLY Phillies podcast. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jim Salisbury at 11:30. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.